Good morning, YouTube. My name is Will. This is my Evo 8RS, Lotus, Enzo. Oh, and apparently Rally today. Oh, no, never mind. In today's video, we're going to talk about whether or not an Evo would make a good first car. So I was trying to decide what to talk about today. I was kind of reading through just some of the old comments, some of the new comments, just seeing if there's any questions in there I could address. And this one caught my eye, and it was kind of interesting. You know, an Evo wasn't my first car. It was my third car. But I didn't have my first two cars all that long. And the Evo was the first car that I had for a significant amount of time. I also bought it new, so it always just felt more mine for that reason. And I got the car at a point in my life where my life was changing a lot. I was in college, a new job, like all this stuff was going on. And the Evo just became like a big part of that. So when I think back to like my early 20s, it's hard for me to picture any memory that doesn't involve an Evo. And I think that's partly why I'm so attached to them and everything, but that's not really the point of this. For me, having the Evo as one of my first cars and a car that was my primary car for a couple years when I was younger, I know for a fact that having an Evo was no problem. I mean, it's all-wheel drive, so you can drive it year-round. It's safe because of that. It's got 4 doors, seats 5 people, it's got a good-sized trunk. You know, there's a lot of practicality built into the Evo. If you're looking for that first car and you want it to be a little faster, a little funner, anything like that, it's hard to argue with an Evo for those reasons versus say like a Mustang or Corvette or something like that where the practicality is just severely diminished. Here's the thing, it depends what type of person you are though. I mean, if we're talking first car, I assume you're younger, and generally speaking, with younger people comes less money and less maturity. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, I was a freaking idiot in this car. I'm not necessarily going to discuss whether or not I think younger people should have cars this fast or faster. That's really for you to decide. I know I did a lot of stupid things, but I'm still here. So, couldn't have been all that bad, I suppose. The overriding answer, though, to whether or not an Evo would make a good first car really comes down to, it depends. It depends on mechanically inclined you are or how willing you are to learn. It depends on how dependable you need your car to be, how good your financial situation is, and based on those answers, whether or not an Evo would work. Now, if we're talking a 2014, 2015 Evo 10, you know, we're talking cars that are only a few years old, you can still get them with pretty low mileage, therefore reliable. If that's something that's in your budget that you can afford, go for it. I mean, why not? Now, if you're talking something like an Evo 8, Evo 9, something that's older, higher mileage, that's when a lot of those questions really come into play. There's no way around it. This car behind me is going on 20 years old, and no matter how good a care I take of it, no matter the fact that it's virtually stock, no matter the fact that it's spent almost all its time in the South, it's still an almost 20-year-old car, and things are gonna happen. Because of that, you have to be either mechanically inclined or willing to learn, or financially able to fix those things. Now, if you're somebody who's in school, maybe you moved away somewhere else to go to school, but you've got a job, you've got some money, whatever, I would be leery to suggest this as your first car because the reliability and the fact that you're away from friends and family means that you're kind of on your own. Also, chances are if you're away for school, you probably don't have a garage, a workspace, again, kind of back to the friends, the network of people that can help you. Yeah, it could be a lot, honestly. If your first car, though, is, you know, if you spent your life like in a city like New York where cars and driving really isn't that big of a priority, you went to school somewhere else, now you're graduating college, you're 22, 25, 28, and this is going to be your first car, you've got a good job, you've got the time, the abilities, then yeah, why not? I mean, they're easy cars to drive and such, so as far as like a driving dynamic standpoint, they're super easy to drive. I taught my younger sister how to drive a stick in my Evo 9 when she was like 16 years old. So, I mean, they're super easy cars to drive. And as I mentioned before, super practical. But if you're that 16-year-old kid who's saving up all his money, working a bunch of part-time jobs, could maybe afford something cheap, like, you know, honestly, kind of like mine, you know, I paid 13 grand for mine, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot for a car, but I've also had some some repair bills come up and some different things that I have to be willing to deal with. Also, anytime my car's doing anything weird, I've got a backup. Just take the FJ and I deal with it later. It's not ooh, my car's acting kind of weird, I hope I get to school or work today. It's like, no, I'll just take the FJ and I'll deal with this later. Aside from the fact that it depends, I would say that, no, I'm gonna stick with it depends. It really just truly depends. To the 16-year-old wanting to buy a 15-year-old car, you're gonna be in for an uphill battle, I'm not gonna lie. For the 20-something-year-old that's graduated college, got their first decent paying job, yeah, I don't really see a problem. I'd probably have a backup. So it could be your first car and then maybe look for your second cheap car or something, you know, I don't know. Or buy like an Evo 10 that has like low mileage, something like that. Then yeah, absolutely. Hope you guys got some usefulness out of this video. Comment below, let me know what you think. Would an Evo make a good car? Think back to yourself and your first car. Would an Evo have made sense? Let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow. Daily videos continue. Appreciate you guys as always, and that'll do it. Lotus, did you catch it? Did you catch it? Lotus, Lotus, say bye. Lotus, you chasing the reflections? I know, say bye.
I couldn't see where any of the poles were. Ready?
Yeah.
Fun. I'm dizzy. Let's go. I'm dizzy. Yo.